Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jae Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Ryan Calkins, the founder and CEO of Reframe and Rise. Ryan brings a unique blend of expertise as a Marine Corps veteran, certified career coach, and MBA holder with over 15 years in operations, HR, and organizational development. Based in Sacramento, California, Reframe and Rise, founded recently, is transforming how professionals, especially those feeling quietly stuck in misaligned careers, rediscover their core identity and build purposeful paths using frameworks like the Rise method. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the career coaching space, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Ryan, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. A pleasure. And thank you so much for your service. I know that it's always a pleasure to have service members come on, especially ones that become founders. So just really excited to get into the conversation and really get a look into your mind and how you're operating everything with Reframe and Rise. So with that, let's start at the top for our listeners here, Ryan. What specific problem in the career coaching landscape really inspired you to start Reframe and Rise?
It started because when I left the Marine Corps in 2004, there weren't really a ton of readily available resources for transitioning military.
Yeah.
I basically got a handshake and a good luck.
Yeah.
I was a marksmanship coach, but nobody really talked to me about transferable skills. So I didn't see a ton of value in what I had done. And I feel like that kind of set me back in my career from the get-go when I got out. And that mindset stuck with me for years. And I continued to take jobs that didn't necessarily fit, but I convinced myself that I should be grateful to be employed. And even today, with a million resources available for transitioning veterans, the system still focuses on job placement in a job and not necessarily the right job.
Right.
And looking at the statistics, 80% of veterans leave their first civilian job within 2 years. And that really signifies that there's a major need with a broken system. And I don't believe it's a talent issue. I think it's a misalignment issue. And that's really why I started Reframe and Rise. It's to help people connect with their identity and realign with meaningful work, stuff that's important to them. And being stuck in the wrong job, it drains your energy and kind of erodes your sense of self.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With that, I would love to hear from you a bit of the evolution. It sounds like you just recently launched. So with that, as far as what you're providing and who you're serving, what does that look like as far as the offer evolution?
When I started, I wanted to help everybody. I lived at the misalignment. I didn't want other people to waste years. And the approach was too broad and unrealistic. So I narrowed the focus down to, as you mentioned, the quietly stuck, who I look at as high achieving professionals, age 35 to 50, that have been successful, have climbed the ladder, but they feel unfulfilled. They're not necessarily in crisis to find a job, but they're not okay either. And that group is a little broad as well, because there's no email list of people struggling with their careers. It's not like they're on LinkedIn complaining. And engagement became a challenge. I'm focusing on a beachhead, which is veterans post-transition veterans are hardworking, purpose-driven leaders. And post-transition, as I mentioned before, they tend to undervalue their strengths. They take jobs out of necessity. They lose touch with who they are, and they start to question their own value. And eventually, the approach that I had been using for myself and with my clients evolved into the RISE method that you mentioned, and being able to help veterans along with the RISE method, which stands for reflect, integrate, strengthen, and execute, is that step-by-step framework for reconnecting who you are and aligning your career with values, and then taking action to go in that direction with clarity and confidence.
Love it. I love it. So definitely want to get into that a bit more now, especially for our listeners who can very well want to come and work with you, Ryan, after hearing the episode. So really walk us through what you're doing to generate revenue today. So I know that you have the RISE method. You do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, workshops. Walk us through all of your core offerings. And again, we have a good idea of the ideal profile. So really understanding what's the offer here.
So we generate revenue through one-on-one coaching, the group programs, as you mentioned, and soon I'm working on a digital product, an e-learning course.
Beautiful.
So the journey itself starts with the 15-minute discovery call, From there, clients can book a 90-minute working session for $90 to experience the Rise method in action. It's no strings attached, 90 minutes. If there is a fit, they can choose from a 4-session, 8-session, 12-session program. If they aren't ready for private coaching, I do offer the group coaching, which provides that lower cost of entry with the bonus of peer-to-peer learning, really. And each engagement follows that arc: reflect, integrate, strengthen, execute.
Amazing. So with that there, talk to me a little bit. I know that you're doing the e-learning course. So it sounds like scale is on your mind. What are you doing to really get that? And which one of your services do you see really picking up the most traction right now so you can take this and scale it to the next level?
I think the group coaching is really the avenue to begin scaling because it provides the same structure. It's less tailored, but it allows more people to take it at once to really provide that value. And there's instant feedback within group coaching that I'm using to really tailor the e-learning course for self-learning and have that as obviously another scalable piece to reach more people. And then if they want more tailored services from there, then it would be direct contact.
Absolutely. Ryan, is this something that you're doing on your own right now as a solopreneur, a solo founder, or do you have a team now? I know that you, again, just founded this year. So what does that look like as far as the team behind you pushing this forward?
No, you're right. It started, it's just me right now. I'm doing it all: the creator, the administrator, the marketer, the coach. It's all me. I've got the MBA, the experience, the leadership background, but I'm still watching tutorials and taking courses and trying to apply everything in real time.
Amazing. So walk us through that a bit. What's the mindset, especially with the scale in mind? Are you looking to bring on a sales team, setters and closers, some marketing help, some ops help? What does that look like right now as far as timeline and urgency to get those pieces in place to continue that growth?
I think there's not necessarily a rush to bring staff on. I think it would be more bringing in experts to help. I created the website, but it could also obviously use an expert's touch. Having somebody to create the e-learning course, which would probably be a million times better than what I could produce on my own. But it's one of those things where you have to start somewhere. You could get caught in ideation forever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, with that there, then talk to me a little bit about what's working well for you on the acquisition side. Are you marketing savvy, or is that something where you're looking to get some assistance around? What channels have been most effective for you to bring leads in, and what challenges are you having on that lead generation side right now?
With lead generation, the tricky thing is on LinkedIn and Substack and Instagram and YouTube, and really those platforms are helping with visibility. But as coaching, it's a relationship and trust building business. And my best clients come from referrals. So when somebody has a good experience, they tell people they trust, and that's the best kind of marketing I can have. But it's also a very slow build.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that there, have you put any thought into doing more around ads and getting the messaging down and really pushing those out on those social media channels? What have you done around that side to have more predictability in the pipeline?
So what I'm doing right now is really the focusing in on that beachhead to have more focused marketing, because what I was doing was talking to the quietly stuck in general, and the more consistent I was getting, engagement was plateauing. So I think having a more targeted message and starting with that beachhead will provide more generation from people I can speak to directly.
But still more of a bottleneck right now on that having predictability on the lead gen side. What else on the bottleneck front are you thinking about that you need to break through to really get that success and scale going?
Really, the bottleneck for me is me. It's having that time and being able to get those resources that we talked about to help take pressure off and allow me to focus on the pieces that I need to get moving.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that there, I would definitely love to get a good picture here, Ryan. What does the rest of this year look like? What are your top priorities? What are you really laser focused on to really get everything in place and start really seeing that success come in?
So we're talking 6, 12, 18 months. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess my top 3 priorities really are to expand the strategic networking and partnerships, especially with veteran focused organizations with that beachhead in mind. Completing and launching that e-learning course based on the Rise method and having a way for people to self-learn and progress. And then really the other part is continuing to refine the coaching framework and tools and bringing in resources to help accelerate those.
absolutely. That would be the one thing, really, if you were able to identify one thing to make the biggest impact on the growth of Reframe and Rise, you think it's just bringing in those resources, getting that additional help to get the course out there, to really give yourself some more free time to work on the fulfillment side. Is that the major factor right now for you?
It's a big factor. If we were talking about one thing to solve to really blow
Yeah,
things open, it would
yeah,
be having a repeatable, I don't know, semi-automated lead generation system that can bring people to me that reflects the brand's identity and impact that allows me to focus efforts elsewhere.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest piece there. We have so many clients in that coaching space that really, once they figured out the messaging and the ads, that's when that machine really was turned on, where you can have a lever where you pull that and you do have quality leads coming in. It's a repeatable system. So absolutely something that you can put into place and turn on there. Let's get hypothetical here. I have a good idea what your answer will be here, but I would love to hear if we were to snap our fingers right now, Ryan, and provide you with unlimited resources at your fingertips. What do you think you're implementing immediately into Reframe and Rise?
Unlimited resources immediately. I would hire experts, like I mentioned, to redesign the website, to build the e-learning course, to help edit and publish the book draft that I have sitting in a file, and really pour it into scaling on the marketing strategy while maintaining the values of what we're aiming for.
I love it. I absolutely love that. Talk to me about your vision as a whole with the career coaching industry and the evolution that you're seeing in the coming years, especially with your military background and the approach that you're taking and the way that AI and technology is just continuing to grow and implement and get better. How do you see that industry evolving and what are you doing to position yourself at the forefront of that evolution?
When I look at evolution, it's two things. As you mentioned, coaching is saturated, and everybody with Canva now calls themselves a coach. And not to disparage other coaches, it's career coaching is more than just resume assistance and interview preparation. And when you don't get to the root cause of what the problem is, and you just fix somebody's resume up, you're potentially sending them to a new environment with the same issues on the table, which I think is one major piece. But the more the market saturates, the more coaching gets diluted and the perception becomes a problem. But then also, as you mentioned, AI adding another layer. I can write a plan, I can rebuild confidence or do all this stuff on paper, but then putting it into practice isn't there. And what we do is we use AI to support the work and not replace it, because the real transformation comes from that reflection and working with people. And we're not in the coaching business, we're in the growth business, and coaching is one avenue to help people with that growth.
Beautiful. Incredible. So with that, I do want to take us into the lightning round here, Ron. Just incredible having you on the show so far and really getting to pick your brain and understanding what you're going to do to really take this to the next level. So on this side, I would love to hear from you a tool or resource that you're using, whether it's a Marine Corps leadership principle, a coaching psychology insight, an AI tool that you're using. What can you say has really been the biggest game changer for Reframe and Rise this far?
The biggest game changer for me isn't a resource that's readily available to everybody. I just graduated from the EBV program at
Mhm.
UCLA, and that's an entrepreneurship boot camp for veterans that was held by amazing professors and incredible peers of veteran small business owners that are going through. And any veteran that is looking to start a small business, I recommend looking into the EBV program.
Incredible. What were the best takeaways that you got from that that you're able to utilize with Reframe and Rise?
The end of it was compiling a pitch deck of sorts. And I'm not
Mhm.
looking for investment. So I was looking more at the partnership angle and being able to really fine tune that message and have my financial forecasting, setting my pricing and everything else was just really pivotal in being able to pull everything into a focused plan of action.
Incredible. Incredible. I love that. So, two more questions for you here, Ryan, before we wrap up the show. Both going to be on the advice side. The first one, I would love to hear from you. What is the best piece of advice that you have personally ever received, Ryan, about scaling a mission driven business as you're doing now?
The best piece of advice I ever received was to be mindful of ideation. I'm a thinker. I'm always trying to think about what's next. And sometimes you think what's next at the expense of what's now. And you can get lost in refining over and over and never actually moving. So execution really beats that perfection. And you just have to put pencils down and start. It's still something I struggle with on occasion, but I've got the mentality now to catch it when it's happening and move from it.
And last, certainly not least here, Ryan, what is the best piece of advice that you can leave for our listeners tuning in right now? Just heard your incredible journey and where you're taking Reframe and Rise. What can you leave them with before we wrap it up?
I would say if you want to start your own business, be patient. If you're looking for fast money and to become a millionaire overnight, I'd say do something else. If you want purpose, build slowly. Trust and relationships take time. And if there's anything that I can do to support you, I'll do what I can. Feel free to reach out.
I love it. I love it. With that, right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Ryan, I truly can't thank you enough, man. Coming on the show, having a phenomenal conversation, sharing your incredible journey and your insights. Clear as day with the passion and the drive that you have. You're going to do some big things with Reframe and Rise. So truly, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And also check out Reframe and Rise at reframerise.com for their resources and coaching options. And for more resources and insights from us, you can visit us at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.